Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, October 25th, 2019. Happy Friday, everyone. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Again, the market remains quite quiet right now as it goes mostly sideways over the last week plus. You can certainly see down here that we have very compressed price action here. This is on a 5-day range basis. If you were to go 6, 7, or 8 days, you'd still likely get a compression. We've gone 7 days of sideways. Today's the 8th building, and this will likely persist heading into next week's FOMC. Again, this is something we talked about last week, heading into this week with 2 weeks of lead time, and right now we got today's session plus another couple next week before FOMC day. And again, the idea is that we likely see this thing go sideways into that event, and once that occurs, we may see another dose of volatility. And in this case, lately we've seen the moves up, sideways, and then those numbers have been offered back to the 200. It's happened each of the last couple of times, and so again we may see that same type of price action again, followed by what could be a bounce. So we'll see how the market responds, but again, every time we get one of those key levels, it's always very, very important. So right now, inside day, range bound, we could see a pullback to the previous month's close. Any pullback down here could be a bounce back up, and it could stay mainly between 29.80 and 30.15. Alright, let's take a look now at the NQ. NQ, very similar price action right now. It's compressed within this range here. This 79.73.5 has been just an incredible level. It's a level we talked about yesterday in the trading room as well, as a level that would likely be rejected if price got above it. It has not closed above that level a single day since that FOMC day back in July 31st. After that day, it sold off. It tested above it and sold off. Each of these 3 days, same thing. Each of these 4 days, same thing. So it has not wanted to close beyond that level. So right now, every time price gets into that zone, it's an opportunity to fade. Right now, very modest inside day, just 28% of average range right now. That's how narrow this is. Again, we may see this thing drop right back down, and it could pop right back up. Again, the goal is likely to go sideways heading into next week's FOMC meeting. Alright, let's take a look at crude oil. Now, crude got a pretty sizable breakout a couple of days ago. This is the 55 level. It broke right through that zone. Very tremendous breakout day there. Over here, we had a digestive day in the previous session, and right now we're seeing an inside day inside that range. So right now, this is 27% of average range is crude oil here. So this one right now trading very, very quietly as well. With crude oil going 27% and NQ at 28%, we have the Russell at 30%. We have the S&P 400 is at 20% of ADR, and the ES at 36%. So a lot of quiet price action right now, likely to remain that way until we see some sort of break of an edge. So right now, with this upside push through 55s, any pullback could be a buying opportunity for a continuation. A failure to hold 55s would open up a return back toward recent lows. So right now this thing is flowing to the upside, and a failed low back toward 55 could be an opportunity to fade this thing back up. Alright, lastly, let's take that a look at the gold futures contract here. You see this one right here got a big time upside break in the previous session. This is a very good break right here, and it may wake up this chart. This is the type of day that can typically trigger an expansive move. We saw it here. After a lot of sideways action, it was a bullish outside day that triggered that move. We saw it here with another bullish outside day triggering this move, and then here we are yesterday getting the same type of move like we saw back here. So after all this sideways here, that move triggered this explosive upside move, and over here another sideways price action, and now we're seeing some strength. is this about to lead to a major breakout move towards 1600? So this is going to be something to keep an eye on here. I mentioned yesterday that we would likely head sideways, but if we got above the 1520 level, or 1500 level rather, we could be en route to 1525 with a shot to go higher. So it did break through that 1500 level. Pretty solid day, and a bullish outside day here and a strong continuation day. We'll see how this plays out. We have seen lower highs rather. Every time it gets above here, we've seen this thing turn down. So again, to really keep going, it needs to get above that 1525. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the session. Happy Friday. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.